Welcome. This service is provided by freeconferencecall.com.
Please announce yourself.
ADSO, or you can say ADSO, planning ADSO. Model is based on ADSO. If that is 10.1, BPC 10.1 embedded, model is based on real-time info cube. Yeah. Those
Muted.
real-time info cubes, now we are calling it as ADSOs, so model is based on ADSOs. Let's create those. Let's create our environment. In order to find your URL, the same way, go to SICF, go to your BPC 11, go to SICF, where you can click on external aliases. Here you can see BPC Universal Web Client. I click here, test external aliases. So this is the link. You can add it in your favorites, this link.
The T code was SICF?
Yeah, SICF, correct. So now we need to create an environment. This is the initial screen. In order to create one environment, click here, settings, go to environment, go to manage all environment. It's documented. Here click on create. Give the environment name. Let's say U01 underscore ENV. U01 environment. Create. Then not able to see. So now one environment is created for us. Just click on connect. Make sure always when you connect, make sure that your environment is connected by clicking here. When you click here, it will show which environment you connected. So under this environment, all your configuration, solution configuration happens. Now select here these three lines and administration, modeling, models. New. We are creating a model. So two types of models you can create, planning and consolidation. We are creating only planning models in this course. Now U01 underscore any product or expenses or sales models we can create. What configuration we have, product line configuration we have, cost center, cost element configuration we have. So U01, let's say model 1. You can give a name like sales or expenses. Yeah. U01 sales model.
Corinne, in your opinion, is the embedded better for consolidation than the standard?
Come again.
The embedded, the BPC 11 embedded, in your opinion, is it better for consolidation than the standard?
See, that is both are different. Standard, if you ask me, I always say standard is good. Right. The only things here in BPC Embedded is here real-time data can be done. The standard you have to load the data. create. Now, you see here, when you click on create, your model name is coming, the first thing, and click here to select an info provider. So just click here to select one info provider. You see here, you observe here, it is showing all the ADSOs, ID and description. Right. These are all my ADS. So even it will show the composite provider, but the composite provider will have the ADSO for actuals, ADSO for plan. Yeah. Now I'm selecting ADSO 01, let's say. We have some sales planning related DSO that I'm selecting. Click on OK. Right. Even here, observe here, I can select a composite provider also. Here, the dimensions, aggregation levels, related composite providers it is showing, right? While creating a model, it will give you an option of selecting composite provider. Based on composite provider also, you can create a model. Yeah. Now, this composite, this ADSO is linked to some aggregation levels, U01, LGL01, and related composite providers. It is also part of one composite provider, U01 underscore CP. Now, come back here. Here, if you want to select another info provider, just click here. Yeah, you cancel this, select this aggregate, this composite provider. Let's see what happens. Now, when you select the composite provider, it takes both both info providers, ADSOs. One is created for actuals, one is created for sales. If you go here, it will show you the relevant aggregation level. Right. So here, dimension mapping is there. The aggregation levels are there. This is the aggregation level and related composite. This is a composite provider. Related to composite providers are not required. So dimension mapping you can see. Right. So one of them you can use. Let's come back. Now the model is created. Let's create a model based on composite provider. Click on save.
I have another question. Is that, in your opinion, is this product going to take over the standard? Is this embedded?
This is the common question we get, right? Standard is different, embedded is different. These are two separate products, right? If the customer is having BW without HANA, they can go for only BPC standard. They can't go for BPC Embeded. And if the customer wants real-time data, let's say if they are on HANA, if they want real-time data, if they want to utilize capabilities of SAP system, then they can go for BPC Embeded. There is no one can tell you whether BPC standard is going to take the market of BPC Embedded or BPC Embedded is going to occupy BPC standard. Both the products will be there. It is the customer decision what they want to implement. You should be able to understand and explain the difference between BPC Embedded and BPC standard.
So, Kiran, in what scenarios we will recommend for embedded and what scenarios we will recommend for standard? If it is for consolidation, we will always recommend standard. Is that so? At planning, we will always recommend for embedded. Is that so?
It's not how we recommend. See, basically, when you go to your customer, when you are discussing with your customer, they will come up with some pain points, right? Based on those pain points, which product can address those pain points? Let's say, if your customer says, we are passing an entry To get that entry to BPC consolidation, it is taking 2 days because it should be loaded to BW, BW to BPC. It is taking 2 days. We want immediate effect. Correct? Then BPC, instead BPC standard, in order to solve that type of pain points, you should use BPC embedded consolidation or real-time consolidation. So it depends on the customer pain points. Yeah.
You mean to say the planning and consolidation is also possible in either of them? So standard
Yes, sir.
as well as them.
You should carefully understand the pros and cons of both the products. Right? Go through pros and cons of both the products. It's common question in interview also. You will get the same question like which one you will suggest. So suggestion is based on your pain point. That's what my my suggestion is. You can discuss the thing. Go through BPC embedded pain points and BPC embedded pros and cons, BPC standard pros and cons. Based on that, you have to analyze based on the customer requirement.
Kiran,
Yeah.
sorry, someone else was asking. Let him ask.
Yeah, actually, while creating model, so when you click on the create a button, and then you will end up with this screen, is it? I mean, next screen what it is showing, because I had some network issue. I was not able to see while you were creating a model. So there was the two options: planning and consolidation. Maybe you have chosen planning mode.
Planning.
And
Yeah.
then
Model type you can see here planning. Yeah.
correct. So while you have clicked on create, you have come to this screen, is it?
Correct.
Fine, thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
Kiran, I was asking about the embedded thing, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot. I mean, I'll ask you in a couple of minutes. So.
Okay, that's okay. Now, we have models, and based on ADSOs, composite providers, we created this thing. Remember, when you use BW for HANA, you have option of creating your model based on composite provider or ADSO, right? If you are using BPC 10.1 based on S4HANA, NetWeaver version, you will get option of composite provider, ADSOs, multi-providers, and real-time info cubes, right? So that is the difference. So you go with composite provider, you forget about multi-providers and real-time info cubes from now. You just use composite providers, ADSOs, either of the version, 10.1 or 11. That's what my suggestion, because this is the latest objects, and SAP is going to support these objects. Anyway, they are going to remove these multi-providers and real-time info cubes after 5 years or 6 years. But let's, if you develop your objects with new technology, that will be good. Now, let's go to the models.
I have another question.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're upgrading from 10.1 standard to BPC 11 embedded, is there a tool that's going to migrate?
That's what I'm saying. There are both are different products. There will not be any migration from standard to embedded. Whatever you want to implement, let's say one project is implemented already in standard. If you want to implement in BPC embedded, you have to configure everything. Same blueprint, even blueprint, the business processes you can use, right? So everything should be created again. So if there is a model, here also you have to create that model. Here means in BPC 11 embedded, you have to create the same model. You cannot use BPC standard configuration here.
So all that development work in BW has to be redone also, correct?
Yes, BW, if the actual development is there, you have to see, again, redevelop, you cannot say now. You have to look at the system, whatever is required, you keep it. If something is not there, you have to develop. All the things not required to develop. Let's say, if you have a cube which is getting data from AC document, ADSO which is getting data from AC document, no need to redevelop. If the DSO is getting data from TagglePEX-T or TagglePEX-PA, then you have to use use BPC for HANA technology or BW for HANA technology, and you have to develop ADSOs and composite providers.
Kiran, my question was, is there many businesses that's running on embedded, or are they coming up, or do they want to go on embedded? Because SAP as
Right.
such, I mean, they promoted standard exclusively for the last couple of years, right?
Hmm. Correct. So now what they are saying, you use any one of them. Let's say when I go for S4 HANA, I don't have any other option. I have to go for when the planning screens IBPF. I should implement IBPF for S4 HANA Finance. Otherwise, I will not get old cost center planning and internal order planning, WBS element, all these planning screens. So if we go with that discussion, which can be implemented, BPC embedded or BPC standard, which is flexible, which is good product, we will not get answers. That is difficult to compare these two products. Both the products does the same thing. Remember this point. Both the products does the same thing. I can do sales planning in BPC embedded. I can do sales planning in BPC standard. I can do production planning in BPC standard. I can do production planning in BPC embedded. I can do balance sheet planning in BPC embedded. I can do balance sheet planning in BPC standard. Now the question comes, which one I have to suggest? So that's where the point that you have to understand both the products, whichever is feasible, whatever product can answer your customer pain points, that you have to choose. Sometimes it is not necessary that always you go with one product. My earlier client, we implemented some parts in embedded, some parts in BPC standard. Right? Planning we went for BPC embedded, consolidation we used SAP standard, BPC standard consolidation. So it depends.
So then I mean, again, look at the ECC from the source data of how it is, and then accordingly we can plan that. Like as you said, the IBPF for this planning, internal order allocations and all that from ECC controlling. So that really plays a role for us to choose what model we can or what
Good. Exactly. Whatever is content is available, you can activate. Remaining thing you can implement to any one of the product. And also one major point here, I observed with my previous project, licensing. BPC embedded license cost is high when you compare with BPC standard license cost. Looking at that cost, my user, my previous project, some of the scenarios they have chosen BPC standard. Half of the licensing fee. If $5,000 for one person, let's say per year, embedded, standard will be something around $1,000 or $2,500. It's based on country, so that also matters. Yeah.
I have another point. Is BPC embedded more efficient because it eliminates the ETL process, whereas standard you have ETL, extraction, transformation, and loading.
Yeah. If you have lots of data, yeah, then BPC embedded is good. Suppose if your industry is retail industry, right? BPC embedded is good. Or if you want huge, if you are handling with huge data, then BPC embedded is good. If that is you have transactions which are not immediately required, then BPC standard is good. Not lots of transaction data, then you can go for BPC standard. Yeah.
Kiran,
Let's come back.
Does BPC embedded support EPM functions like EPM functionality?
Oh. Come again, sorry.
Does BPC embedded support EPM functionality? Like in EPM we have various kind of functionality, right? So like we can use that EPM add-on in Excel to create input templates reports.
No. It uses BI tools, BPC embedded, all BI tools.
Okay, so we can just use the analysis for Office when we use embedded.
Yeah, correct. Analysis for Office or Design Studio. Even if you
Okay.
want reports, you can use Webby and all this Crystal, Lumira,
Yeah.
predictive analytics, all those things.
Okay. Thank you.
One other question. For analysis for Office, to create input template, for example, you would need a Vex queries, correct?
Yeah, correct. For all the BI tools, we need development in BW. Queries should be developed in BW. Right. So now, I think I saved it. Yeah, I saved it. Now, why you need BPC embedded model? On top of this model, I can develop work status, I can develop business process flows, I can develop business process flows, I can develop audit also, right? Now, let's understand what is business process flow today, yeah? I will give you one overview of business process flow. One second, one document I will open. Business process flows.
So Kiran, work status will come first or BPF will come first?
It is not like that anything can be, but when you are implementing BPF, yeah, by that time
Yeah.
your work status should be ready. Yeah, so work status, you can say work status come first. Work status will come first. Because when when I want to lock the data in BPF, I'm going to call work status. When I call work status in BPF, that should be available first. Right. So now, okay, let's understand work status first. Yeah, then we'll go for business process flows. Most of you, let's understand work status first. Yeah. Most of you know work status in BPC standard. Yeah. That is based on one driving damage. Right. What is work status? Simple definition: work status is to lock your data, to lock data. Let's say I'm doing my sales planning. Once I do my sales planning, I want to lock that sales planning is approved. You submit it to your managers are approved, and you want to lock your data. Using work status, you can lock the data for the changes. So once approved, you should not, no one can change the data. That's why we lock the data for change. That is basically work status. Using work status, I can do it. Earlier in BIP, we have some concept called data slices. Right? Data slices, what we used to do in BIP with data slices, same like work status. Whatever combination I want to lock, I can create a data slice here. I'll show you. Now we are not using. Earlier, I used to work in 10 years back. That time I used to use this. So when you go to RS plan, I'm showing you just for information. Let's say U01 explain. Any model we can take. Info provider, display. Here you can see the data slices. So you can create a combination here. If you change, right? You can create a combination. Combination means for account, which chart of accounts, which cost center you want to lock. And you can give the values also. Selection text and values. So this you directly decide your so it gives for, let's say, data slice 1 based on this combination, data slice 2 this is based on some other combination, controlling area, some XYZ, company code, some XYZ. Yeah, this is what we used to use for blocking the data. Now we are using work status because they linked BPC functionalities in BIP. Yeah.
Even account, do we really need account? So chart of account level, we can restrict or we can lock. But
See,
then,
here data slices, what happens, it
yeah,
will show all the dimensions available in your ADSO.
it is a standard one. So we have to choose whatever is required for us.
Correct. If you don't want to restrict based on account, just keep it blank.
Okay.
Don't select any value.
So Kiran, what is meant by locking actually? What are the functions that are disabled when you do locking?
Input. Input is disabled. Only input
Okay,
will
only
be.
input. Okay.
So, when you lock the data, right, input will be disabled. User cannot input.
Well, in embedded, when we what do you call it? When we disable the planning mode, it will also kind of locking.
But it disables for entire profit centers or entire cost centers.
Okay,
want
this
to
is a
lock-
slice. Okay.
Yeah, this is slice exactly. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So the important thing is driving dimension, right? Some of you know BPC standard. There is something called driving dimension or Warner dimension. Basically, for work status, we call it as Warner dimension. Yeah, both are same like this. So we have a Warner dimension where we define who is the Warner or who is the manager, right? In BPC standard. As it is, you cannot implement in BPC Embedded. Right? BPC Embedded, let's say, two things to decide Warner dimension. You have to understand internal dimension and external dimension. What is the difference between internal dimension and external dimension? So in order to decide the Warner dimension, you have to understand internal dimension and external dimension. Internal dimension or internal characteristic, you can say. Dimension means characteristic, right? So here, external characteristic. The characteristic which is part of your ADSO is internal characteristic, right? You have a planning DSO. I will say DSO only. DSO means ADSO. Okay. You have planning DSO. The planning DSO is having 10 characteristics. If you choose your Warner dimension is one of these 10 characteristics, that is called internal dimension or internal characteristic. So your Warner dimension will be internal characteristic because the characteristic is part of your DSO. If you choose a characteristic which is not part of your DSO, that is called external characteristic. Now the question comes, when I choose external characteristic, when I choose internal characteristic. Correct. So somewhere I explained this. Work status. Yes. Here explained. So work status basically used to log data, changes for Warner only, input ready only. Now, where the Warners and managers are maintained, right? Let's take it from here. Let's understand from here, so it is easy for me to understand, to explain in this way. Copy. Create a copy of work status. Rename it as work status BW constant. So let's say my cube is having these company codes, 0 company code. My ADSO is having 0 company code. And I have version, 0 version, profit center, 0 profit center, per fiscal year, and I have product, I have controlling area, right? These are the, and I can give the name, right? So this is my real-time info provider, or this is my planned DSO, plan ADSO. Right. Right. Now, I have some plan data. This one. Quantity 100, 100, the user plan. Who is going to plan? The business user. The person who is going to plan this data, green color is input data, right? That guy is called owner of the dimension. The person who is going to input the data in the input template based on the combination, he is called the owner. Now, he plans, the owner plans, the business user, performer, owner, all are same. Different names. The person who inputs the data, he can be a performer. Performer means the person who is performing the planning. Owner means the responsible person of this particular profit center can be a owner. And the performer, owner is nothing but the business user. So whatever the name. Yeah. So the owner planned. Now, whatever data he planned, he wants to submit that one to his manager for approval. Correct, right? You submit your leave request to your manager, the leave manager will approve. So, there will be a button provided for the owner. He will click on submit. When the owner clicks submit, this particular data goes to the manager. Next level for approval, right? So, manager of, this is YB110, YB110 profit center owner planned the data. Then the owner submitted the data. So the submitted data goes to my manager. YB110, there will be a manager. Manager is nothing but reviewer, right? Manager means reviewer. Performer, reviewer, owner, manager. Both are same. Now, the manager can check this data, quantity, how much is the quantity, this thing. And if he is happy with this data, he will approve this data. So, owner submitted to reviewer or manager. The manager checks this data. If he is happy, he will lock the data. Yellow means this pink color means lock the data. For owner, it is locked for the changes. Yeah. If the owner, the manager approves the data, it will be locked and it cannot be changed. Here I confused you. When the owner submits the data to the manager, right, whether the owner can change the data or not. When you submit your leave request to your manager, that leave request should not be changed by you because you raised that leave request. It can be changed by the manager. The same thing I have written here. When the owner submits the data to the manager, the owner should not, after submitting the data, the owner should not change. For owner, it is locked for the changes. For the manager, yes, he can change. If you want, you can lock it for the manager also, right? Now, the manager checks the data. If he is happy, he will lock this data. So, how he will lock? He will choose approve. The owner, the manager will approve. Once the manager approves the data, it becomes locked for owner and manager both. So, in the submitted state, manager can change the data. In the approved state, manager or owner, no one can change the data. Right? This is what I want. This is my user requirement, let's say. Now the question comes, where we are going to maintain this owner and manager. How system understands owner and manager. System understands owner and manager. So basically two roles we have, owner and manager. System understands owner and manager based on owner dimension or owner characteristic. In my case, what is the owner characteristic? Profit center. So profit center is my owner characteristic. Based on profit center, system will understand owner and manager. Now, this profit center, okay, I said profit center, based on the profit center, system will understand and manager. So let YB110, this is the profit center. Yeah.
So, Kiran, those are
These are
the
profit.
driving. Can we
Come again?
can we see, like, this profit center or whatever dimension that how we are presuming as owners? I mean, it's not presuming, actually, we are assigning as owners. So those are the driving dimensions, right? So can we say that they are the driving dimensions, or it is different?
Yeah. See, driving dimension only. For BPF we call it as driving dimension. For work status we call it as owner dimension. Both are same. You can use the same term. So now profit center YB110, right? Who is the owner? Let's say Kiran is the owner, Srikanth is the manager. Now work status, so he is owner, he is the manager. Now how can I tell the system that for this YB110 Kiran is the owner, Srikanth is the manager? So you have to configure like this. Take profit center, right? Maintain one hierarchy for this. Profit center hierarchy will be there, right? So how you are going to maintain the hierarchy? Let's say YBH 100, right? This is hierarchy node. This hierarchy node will have three profit centers: YB 110, YB 111, YB 600, let's say. Right? Now, in profit center dimension, you see there is something called person responsible. Right? That person responsible, I can say he is a owner, for example. Right? So, person responsible, what I am trying to say here, if you go to any ECC system, let's see any ECC system is there or not.
Kiran,
Yeah.
this was something which I was about to ask you about. Kiran, when we were doing the embedded side, you were supposed to show us the product hierarchy, how to create the product hierarchy. Probably the same situation we'll have in the product this profit center as well, to create the hierarchy.
Correct. So for real time, that hierarchy is based on the remote hierarchy. For profit center also, remote program will be there, remote class will be there to read the hierarchy. So here, how to create a profit center here, go to accounting, financial accounting, controlling, profit center, accounting, master data, profit center, individual display. Let's say display. So controlling area, I don't know which one. This is 1010.
Kiran, 8000. Controlling area is 8000, no?
No, I went to some other system. I went to some ECC system. It's not S4HANA. Okay, I have. So if you go to master data of this profit center in ECC system, you will see one field called person responsible, user responsible, person responsible. Any one of them you can use it as owner dimension. If the person responsible is the person who is going to plan the data, you can maintain this one. So it depends. Some client might say this person responsible will be the profit center responsible person. He might not plan the data. He might be the manager. So it depends. Now I am assuming, right, person responsible is this particular person responsible is the owner. Now every profit center you will have a hierarchy, correct? So standard hierarchy, display. How your profit center hierarchy looks like? KCH section. So this is one profit center hierarchy, correct? Like this. So here you have person responsible. Person responsible. Right? This is the hierarchy I am talking about. Now, ideally what happens, YB110, this is my profit center. Yeah. For this, let's say performer is Kiran. Yeah. Now, for YBH, this is owner. So I am saying this guy is the owner. Now, how can I understand the manager of this particular YB110? Right. What happens for YBH100? This is the group of these three profit center. For this, if I maintain some name, let's say Srikanth is responsible. That means for all these three profit centers, the manager is Srikanth. Manager is Srikanth. But what happens? This is not available in ECC system. I cannot maintain a name against responsible person against a node in ECC. If you observe here, I cannot maintain a person against this particular node. Whatever person responsible maintained, that is for the base level members, not for the hierarchies, because hierarchy is a text. It will not have any ID. It's a text. That's why I cannot use my profit center as one. So I have 0 profit center, let's say. I cannot use 0 profit center as my owner dimension. If I can use 0 profit center as my owner dimension, that is called internal characteristic. For my internal characteristic is my owner dimension. So what I have to do? In order to solve this issue, right? Because I can't maintain a ID for the responsible person for the node. We go with external characteristic. We go with external characteristic. Will not go with internal characteristic. What I will do now? We will create our own characteristic, BW characteristic for profit center. Our own. And let's say this characteristic name I have given U00 EPC, external profit center. When I create this BW characteristic, I will maintain master data in this particular profit centers, external profit center. So I create one characteristic called external profit center. In that external profit center, I will add all the profit centers part of my original 0 profit center. And in this external profit center, for each and every profit center, we will add our responsible person at hierarchy level and base level. Right? Now you have a question, how can I do that? Yeah, I will explain.
Yeah, correct. So this external profit center cannot be at the node level, correct?
The external profit center I am creating to maintain my owners and managers for levels also, hierarchy nodes also. So how to maintain manager for hierarchy node in the external profit center, I will tell you.
Okay, got it. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Kiran.
Yeah.
Even on zero profit center, right? When you go to the master data, there is an option to create an external hierarchies. So can't we do it from there?
If you do it from external hierarchy also, it defines only hierarchy. There also you cannot manage the manager. You cannot add a person responsible for that particular level, correct? It defines hierarchy, text hierarchy you can define, hierarchy node as a text you can define, and you can add the child base
Okay.
level.
Yeah, that's right.
So here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to maintain one external characteristic for my profit center in order to solve that particular issue. So let's create one external profit center in BPC. How can I create an external profit center? Go here, SAP HANA Studio. Just opening. So here,
Isn't anything that we develop for BPC level, it has to happen through HANA Studio, is it?
everything via HANA
Or
Studio.
data, transactional data, whatever we maintain, it should be through HANA Studio.
HANA Studio. Only RS plan will be BW. Okay. If for that also, no need to go to what do you say, BW system. From here you can click here. See, if I want to go to RS plan, I can directly click here, correct? Then I can go to RS plan from here. So no need to use your GUI. You can use your HANA Studio for everything. Now what we are discussing, we need to create an external profit center. So I will create one external profit center. This external profit center is not part of your cube. Yeah, that's why I made it as red. Now let's create that. New info object. U01 underscore EPC. U01 external profit center. Finish. This external profit center should have one compounding characteristic, which is zero controlling area. Yeah, we need controlling area, right? So zero controlling area will be there in the external profit center. That's it. No attributes are not mandatory. Yeah. So I need master data. I need text. Yeah, if I want. And I need compounding characteristic as zero controlling area. Zero controlling area.
Corinne, can you please define compounding in this context?
So always when you define a profit center, anytime, right, you should define a profit center for a controlling area. Same way for cost center also, compounding is controlling area. When you create a fiscal year, you should refer fiscal year variant. So these are compounding. But both should be there. Directly I cannot define a profit center in ECC.
But fiscal year also controlling area.
Fiscal year variant.
But what is compounding? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, if you ask that, what is the meaning of compounding? Are you asking what is the meaning of compounding?
Yes, in this context.
Okay. You will not find an answer also. See what I am trying to say? One second.
It's like relationship that is maintained, right, in ECC. So we are now defining it at BPC
Correct.
level or BW. Can we say that way?
Yeah. So for some words it is difficult to explain the definition. What is compounding in BW? If one info object depends on another info object, we will make the dependent info object as a compounding. Right? So profit center and controlling both are dependent. That's why that controlling area we make it as compounding. Yeah. Now,
For fiscal area variant will be the compounding element.
might
right?
not be. I don't know. Let's see. For fiscal year fiscal year variant is not compounding. I think. See, if you go here, open BW info object, 0 fiscal year. Yeah. If I open this, let's see the configuration, whether compounding is there or not. Yeah, fiscal year variant is compounding. For fiscal year variant is compounding. Yeah. Now, what is the length you want? Let's say 20-digit length. I want master data text. Right? It is, remember that access type is generic access. We need short text, medium text, whatever text you want, you can enable. If you want any attributes, you just add those attributes. Check and activate it. Now, what will be there in this particular external EPC? What master data will be maintained in this particular external profit center? In our profit center, let's say I'm opening our profit center, normal profit center, 0 profit center, 0 profit center. So this 0 profit center, here you have 0 profit center. Whatever master data is there, let's go master data maintenance. So this particular profit center, 0 profit center, is going to have some hierarchy also. 0 profit center, whatever master data is there. 2 master data records are there, YB110, YB111. These 2 records should be maintained in my external profit center. Right? That is good. Observe here, there are some things we have to observe carefully here. So here in the EPC, I'm going to maintain both the master data records. Master data maintain, add line, controlling area, 8000. What is the external profit center? YB110. Add line. Oh,
Kiran,
one more thing. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Before adding this master data, right? Is it better to have an owner and manager?
Yeah, I just remember that one. Yeah, that's why I came back. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I'm adding the master data. So when I'm adding the master data here, yeah, let's say when I add YB110, system should understand who is the owner for that YB110. So in order to maintain our owner, we need to maintain our attributes, owner and manager attributes. So I just maintain owner attribute now. So what I will do, we need to add one attribute here. Attributes, yeah. New attribute, I'm creating a new attribute. Info area is BPC. Okay. So attribute name, let's say owner. Let's see. Okay, description, owner attribute. Now click on finish. Now this owner attribute, I want to maintain. How to edit this? can't edit. So we have to create and we have to add it here then. Why it's not providing the length to be changed? Okay, I'm just removing this one. I will create a new one, new info object, name owner. So Warner. Yeah. Now just I'm maintaining the Warner. So here you can select master data or text, or you can just leave it, right? So length I'm going to give something around. You can take it as 60 digit or 30 digit. It depends. Yeah. So let's take 30 digits. If you want to maintain as a master data, yes, you can select it as master data. Otherwise, you just leave it master data. It just creates a record. Now, check and activate it. Check and activate it. Now, add this one to our external profit center as a attribute, as an attribute. Now check and activate. So what I will do now, I'll go to master data maintenance. For the external profit center, I'll maintain the owner now. Airline, A000, external profit center, YB110. Owner is, see, owner I am maintaining as 3 times. A000, YB111. Owner I am maintaining it as 3 times.
Corinne, can you refresh my memory? How did you create these external profit centers, the YB110?
I manually added. YB110.
Yeah, just now, or you created it earlier?
Earlier in the Zero Profit Center, I added these two. Zero Profit Center, I added these 2 lines. Now, Warner is defined in the external profit center. What about the manager? Correct. Manager is based on your hierarchy member. I will explain tomorrow. So, currently what we did, I just recap what we did. I will tell you when we have our session. So, we created an external characteristic U00 U01 underscore EPC. Now, what I will do, add hierarchy nodes in U01 underscore EPC and define the manager. This we have to do, and enable work status based on external U01 underscore EPC. Yeah. Then test the work status. Then we will go for business process flows. So this we will do after 3 days. 27, 28, 29, 30th. India, 30th October. I'll just give the recap and I will start. 30th October. Yes, yeah. 29th October. Use the same meeting request, same pre-conference call ID to connect. Yeah.
Corinne, that external characteristic you created, was that standalone or was that part of a hierarchy?
Standalone.
Okay.
In this external hierarchy, characteristic hierarchy, I will not maintain any hierarchy. I will not create any hierarchy on top of this.
So it won't fall under any node.
Yeah. So the nodes are added as a characteristic value in this particular U01 VPC. I will explain that one. Day 25th. So it is due 24th or 25th? 22nd. Okay, 24th. I think I missed one session. It's okay. Okay, so next session after 3 days we'll meet. We'll finish work status on that particular day. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Goodbye.